What's going on YouTube? Nathan back with another stream, another video presentation as well. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everyone's off to a great week. Hope everybody's staying safe. You know, Before we get to the video, um, stream, I should say, there's a few things I want to say up front. As you see the title of this video, there's a YouTuber on here. He calls himself the regular Ravens fan. And the one thing that he always emphasizes in his videos is trust your eyes. And you know, as a Ravens fan, I think I've made that clear in about I don't know how many videos by now. Lamar Jackson's great. Okay, ever since Lamar Jackson has come into this league, he has been in my personal opinion, the most criticized player. It's funny how the media moves the goalpost on him. They say he should play another position, or they say he will never be a great quarterback. Now it's, if he wins a Super Bowl, he can't win multiple, or you can't win with Lamar Jackson with that kind of system. I mean, do you see how the goalpost is moved around Lamar Jackson all the time? But you look at a guy like Russell Wilson, right, or a guy like Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb, Steve Young, modern examples of mobile quarterbacks winning Super Bowls. I don't know where this narrative comes from that you cannot win with a mobile quarterback. John Elway was a mobile quarterback. Fran Tarkenton was a mobile quarterback. And when I look at his videos, he is absolutely right on the money. When you look at Lamar Jackson, and I understand it. You know what I think it is? The media doesn't want to accept the fact that they were wrong about the kid. Okay? You have to understand, he's not even at his peak. The peak of his career. Nowhere near that right now. And you see again the greatness of a Lamar Jackson. Now, am I biased towards Lamar Jackson sometimes like him? Absolutely. But I also see with my eyes, in order for Lamar to be great, you have to put pieces around him. Which brings me to my point. Sammy Watkins was signed by the Baltimore Ravens. A decent pickup. I like Sammy Watkins. My only issue with Sammy Watkins is health. His best year, I believe it was his third. I want to say it was his third year in Buffalo, where he had over 1,000 receiving yards. Now, Sammy Watkins has said something in his intro press conference that really made me damn near. Just made me feel great about this game because, again, I said when you watch this game, you trust your eyes. I want to read a quote. And this is from Sammy Watkins, and I'll leave a link in the description. To be honest, everyone wasn't getting open. I think that's a critical part of what this offense, Watkins said via Jamison Hensley of ESPN. We can blame offensive coordinators, but we as players, we get to do our job. It takes getting guys open to be great and look great, and be the Patrick Mahomes of the world and the Tom Brady. You got to have that number one wide receiver, number two, or that number three nowadays to go out there and be successful, really throw the ball with your eyes closed and be unconscious. If I could go out there, be healthy, and the other wideouts can make plays, we can be a balanced offense if we get open when we need to get open. I think Lamar can throw for those 4,000 or 4,500 or 5,000 yards, whatever these guys are putting up. I think he can be the quarterback and be elite in this game. People, do you understand? This is what we have been trying to fight with the media. This is what regular Ravens fans have been saying, and this is what I've been saying. Lamar Jackson can be elite if you put the right pieces around him. Not saying Lamar Jackson he can't do it by himself. When I look at his wide receivers, Marquise Brown does not like contact. He doesn't, if you look, he always runs slants. He's not a physical wide receiver. Miles Boykins, in my personal opinion, I think he's great, but I think he's still learning. I think he's still learning and growing. Duvernay and Poche, I mean, again, the Ravens, this goes back years. whenever they draft a receiver, they never really grow them. That's why I'm hoping a guy like a T Martin from Texas, who has made those receivers there great, I'm hoping can develop these guys on the pro level. When you look at what Mark Andrews is his best, was arguably his best target. Now, when you have a Sammy Watkins, I think Baltimore could go out there and get another free agent, maybe an Antonio Brown. I saw in the news that he and Hollywood and Lamar were working out together. Could Antonio Brown be that option? I don't know. But again, you guys have to understand, and I get what regular Ravens fan has been always saying. Trust your eyes. When you look at this game, look at the fact that Lamar Jackson threw 36 touchdowns. That's a fact. Unanimous MVP. Look at the fact that here's a guy who's been overly criticized. Sean Spencer, what's up, man? Watkins will be a game changer. I agree. Thank you. Definitely, for sure. It's amazing when he says these quotes. Listen, you need a number one wide receiver. You need a number one, number two, number three wide receiver to help you be great. I really don't understand where this notion that a quarterback makes wide receivers. That's not true, people. Understand, a quarterback needs weapons to make him better and to make the others better. I'm going to give you an example. Tim Couch, right? We can all arguably say he's arguably the biggest bust coming out of Kentucky, okay? In the 5 years that he was a starter for the Cleveland Browns, Tim Couch did not have weapons, ladies and gentlemen. I can name you three of his wide receivers: Quincy Morgan, Jawan Dawson, Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson played for the Ravens. Quincy Morgan was okay. Jawan Dawson was okay. They weren't great. But when you're built around a quarterback, you have to put the pieces around him. Look at Dante Culpepper. He had Chris Carter and he had Randy Moss. Randall Cunningham had those two as well. John Elway had Shannon Sharp. Brett Favre had Sterling Sharp. Antonio Freeman. Tom Brady had Randy Moss. Rob Gronkowski. Kurt Warner had Isaac Bruce. Torrey Holt. Look at Baker Mayfield. He has OBJ, Jarvis Landry, and Njoku. What does Lamar Jackson have? Now he has Sammy Watkins. Now he has Mark Andrews. Now he has Hollywood Brown. Great receivers. But you have to give him more. In order for the Ravens to get here, they're gonna have to get what they need to get. They have to build around Lamar, and what they need, they have to get him some help. I think they're saying I'm going to be going tomorrow with the Let's Talk Football Roundtable. I'm going to talk about more of this with our free agency recap so far with the Ravens. But I just wanted to make this video because, again, we have been trying to tell people, like myself, regular Ravens fan, trust your eyes. This is what he said. I'm just quoting him because now when he says it, it makes sense. And to see that once again, you have a guy like Sammy Watkins coming out saying Lamar Jackson can be elite. We have to help him be elite. For example, that for his first playoff game again, when they went 14-2, the year he won MVP and they lost to Tennessee, he threw for 500 yards, and people blamed him for that loss. Instead of blaming him, why don't you just say that the Tennessee Titans kicked our ass? In the same breath, you can say that when Baltimore last season went down to Tennessee and kicked their ass. Big Ben Roethlisberger had a horrendous bad game. But what was the narrative? No running game, injuries, offensive line was terrible. But when you look at the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, it's a different goalpost. The goalpost gets moved. Now this time, the perception is this. It does not matter where you go. Now, Everyone was like, oh, we could have gotten Galladay, we could have gotten this guy, we could have gotten this guy. Understand, y'all. The Ravens are known for making sure that they take care of their own. And again, I'm gonna get more into this tomorrow with the Let's Talk Football Roundtable panel. I'm gonna get more into this. But understand that the Ravens always take care of their own. Kenny Galladay, some will say he was overpaid by the New York G-Men. He deserved that contract, but the biggest problem with Galladay, he can't really stay on the field. Health is a concern. T.Y. Hilton pretty much wanted to stay in Indianapolis. But again, the perception was, see, nobody wants to go down there and play with Lamar. I mean, again, you know where that comes from? That comes from the media. Because again, when the media paints these narratives, well, if you play with a guy like Lamar Jackson, you're going to lose your numbers. Instead of worrying about your numbers, what about sacrificing for the others? You don't see that with today. Well, not everyone, but a lot of guys, some guys today, you don't see that. And Sammy Watkins is saying, I can help this guy be elite. I have to go out there, stay healthy, and help him be elite. And that's what we are going to continue to do. We're going to keep driving this down people's throats to understand that, listen, Lamar Jackson can be elite. Now, I guarantee you what's going to end up happening is the excuse was, well, Sammy Watkins was a great pickup, but the Ravens needed more. Well, Lamar Jackson's still going to be the same. I understand that, they lost Judon. I understand they lost Ngakoue. But I'm telling you, the Ravens always make sure that, you know what, they have a backup plan. Now, I'm not a fan of some of the guys that they re-signed. Personally, I would have moved on from Pernell McPhee, LJ4, but that's just my opinion. There's a couple guys out there that can sign, but I think Baltimore, for the most part, is focused on the draft. And understand, people, this article, well, I'm going to leave the press conference he did in the link below. But when he said, if I could go out there and be healthy and the other wideouts can make plays. When you hear Willie Snead, Dez Bryant taking shots at Greg Roman, and I hope that Greg Roman understands that, you know what, he needs to make the necessary changes for this offense to be great around Lamar, and especially Lamar as well. Because I'm not going to lie. When you see the statistic, 7.5% of his passes were dropped. Mind you, Willie Snead, Dez Bryant, Hollywood Brown, Chris Moore. Not saying they were intentionally dropping passes, but that's alarming. Now Lamar Jackson, and again, I don't know where this notion of Willie Snead was. You can be a number one in any system. That's BS, people. Everybody, I get it. It's not a Devontae Adams. It's not a D Hop, not a DK Metcalf. You can make a number one, but can you be a number one? That's the question. And that's what the Ravens have always lacked, really ever since Anquan Bolden left Baltimore. Is Sammy Watkins the answer to the problems? No. But he's a solution. He's giving Lamar Jackson, he's another piece to that offense. I like it, man. Listen, he talked about he could potentially be here for 3 to 5 years, depending on how things go in Baltimore. And I can't wait. Quoting regular Ravens fan, trust your eyes. Another great piece to prove that Lamar Jackson is elite and is elite now and will be elite. He's an elite football player. And this is just another example of letting the media know, hey, you might want to let it go and say, just to make sure I'm wrong about Lamar Jackson. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Again, I'll leave this article and I'll leave the video in the description for y'all to see. Thank you. I'm out. Peace. Stay up.